Good day, Cyprus. It's Andronicos. This is a list of a few ad hoc things which I would summarize as sharing best practices across the 27 members of the European Union that are nations. What is the point in reinventing the wheel? There are so many things we can learn from other countries, and countries can learn from us. As an example, what I'm very proud, and I think Greece should be very proud, Cyprus and Greece, is the whole concept of citizen centres. I believe we were the first to set them up. There's something like a 97% satisfaction rate. Hey, learn from us, Europe. Put them in your countries. A one-stop shop for citizens. Let's do that. Here's another thing I want to trigger, another initiative I want to trigger. I want every child over a certain age, maybe as young as 7, until they leave school, to learn basic life-saving skills. It could save the lives of a friend, a parent, a grandparent, or a teacher. Basic life-saving skills. Look, I'm not suggesting we have 12-year-olds that will do a heart transplant, okay? I am suggesting that we learn first aid. I learned first aid. I wasn't in school, though, but it would have been great to learn how to resuscitate a fellow human being. That's an initiative I want to try and recommend we push as a body, as Europe. Here's another thing. Let's learn from other countries. I recently was in Sweden. I rented a car. And do you know what's amazing? You're driving on the back roads, on the main road, on the highway, and when the speed limit changes, because it's GPS controlled, it bleeps. So if you're doing 80 when you should be doing 65, there's a little bleep to remind you. What does that mean? Safer drivers, less speeding tickets, because let's face it, some of the roads here in Cyprus, some of the back roads, they go from 50 kilometers to 65, to 80, suddenly to 50, then to 65, and it's so easy to accidentally break the speed limit. Let's learn from Sweden. Let's roll it out. It doesn't mean we have to redesign our cars. It could be a phone that we're not, of course, holding, because that's illegal, but it could be a phone that's bleeping. Every time we pass a speed limit sign that is slower than what we should be doing, then it bleeps. Let me continue. What I want is if a child goes missing, or if an elderly person that has Alzheimer's goes missing, we have a local and national alert system. In America, they have what they call silver alerts for missing elderly people. Let's find them by having a photo that deletes automatically after a while, flashed on local phones. You can work it out with GPS masts, who was in the area at the time. Children, any children go missing. Luckily, touch wood, it isn't as bad in some countries here, but it's very worrying when a child goes missing. Let's use technology to help us. We have the technology. There's one other thing I feel close to my heart, and I'm quite proud it was in my presidential manifesto, which is called feeding the poor, feeding the poorest. We're very lucky in Cyprus. To the best of my knowledge, there is no child or adult that goes to bed hungry. However, there are those that could have had more to eat if they could. Last year, there was an EU initiative to minimize food waste and help the poor. It's been set up here in Cyprus, hasn't really been published much. Now, when I say safe food, I don't mean when you've had a giant meze. You know what Cyprus is legendary for, our fish and meat meze. And what's left on your plate, let's all scrape it in a bag and give it to some poor person. That's not what I suggest. I'm suggesting throughout the EU, there should be a network of volunteers, some are paid to manage it, where food that's left over, that has not gone off, from restaurants, from bakeries, be spread to the local villages, towns, and the village mayors know who they are, the village councils know who they are, and towns, depending the area. Let's feed the poorest in our society. Because, why? Because it's the right thing to do. And I'm always embarrassed when I have one of these wonderful mezes. My wife and I sometimes have a vegetarian meze. All the food waste. Yeah, we take it back home, try to eat it. But it's such a shame to waste food when there are people in the world that are going hungry, including our own European Union citizens. Let's do it. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It takes management skills, and I'm going to add that to my list of stuff I will do if you elect me as a member of the European Parliament. Thank you for listening to me. I actually enjoy sharing my ideas with you. Thank you.